Ooh, morning guys, it is 5 a.m. and I'm on my way to the fabulous Ford Forever show. It's in Buena Park, Anaheim, in Knott's Berry Farm. Sorry, I'm a little tired, my brain's just starting to go. I'm actually making coffee. I don't drink a lot of coffee, but when I get up at 5 a.m., coffee's something that I drink. I'm going to fire up the Bronco, let it warm up, and I'm going to take off, and let me tell you what, it's going to be pretty freaking cold on the way there. Because I'm going topless, baby. This is one of the first times I think I've actually wore a winter hat in Southern California, but it's pretty chilly out. The Bronco doesn't have a top on it, so when you get going on the freeway about 60 miles an hour, it's actually pretty cold. So I thought I'd wear 2 jackets and a hat until the sun comes up. I'm not gonna lie, that is one of the coldest drives I have driven in a while. And let me tell you what, it was pretty cold. I didn't get cold. I just got to Buena Park, which is where Knott's Berry Farm is. And I got cold like as I was getting off the interstate, but I'm glad that I brought my gloves. I got my Hitman gloves on today. You know, the leather driving gloves. But I'm really, really excited to meet up with these guys from this internet group. I'm just gonna go ahead and stop myself right there. I'm a member of a Southern California Broncos forum group, you know, where everyone just gets together, talks about Broncos, troubleshoots Broncos, talks about their builds, their experiences, stuff like that. And it's just for people who love Broncos. So I'm a part of that group, and I'm really, really excited just to meet up with those guys for the first time. And there'll be a lot of Fords at this show today, and I'm a Ford guy, so that's pretty cool. And I don't know, I'm just looking forward to bringing my classic car to a car show. I think that means I'm getting old, but it's just really cool. I made it. We're all meeting at the McDonald's here, next to Knott's Berry Farm. I'm actually the first one here, so that's kind of cool. Like, I get to pick the parking spot for the whole group of Broncos, hopefully. But I tend to always kind of be the first person to always be somewhere. Like, I don't know, I just like being early. My mom was always late growing up. Like, she had this rule where she'd set all her clocks back like 15 minutes. So, like, she'd be late, and it would just be like, Mom, you're 15 minutes late. Like, what the hell? And she's like, oh, well, you know, I would change my clocks, unlike everybody else in the world. And I think that had the reverse impact on me. It made me always want to be early. And I made sure I got a great parking spot. I parked all nice and proper. You know, I want to impress these guys. I don't want them to show up and have a sloppily parked Bronco. They'd be like, the guy doesn't know how to park. That might be strike one. The Bronco group just showed up. Looks like we got ourselves a convoy. Alright, so I just met up with a lot of guys from the Southern California Bronco group. What a nice bunch of guys, just really cool, really knowledgeable about Broncos. And I've never seen so many cool Broncos in one spot. I guess there's about 100 Broncos registered for the show, 116. They think probably about 100 will show up. They kind of park us all together, and all the Mustangs are over here, the Thunderbirds are over here, the Antiques are over there. They have all the new Ford stuff inside too, so I think it's gonna be a really great day, and this will be a really good video for you guys. Just pulled into the Bronco show. I'd say there's probably about, I don't know, 50 Broncos here already. Seen a lot of really, really, really cool stuff. I'm really excited. I just checked in. I've got my free bag of awesome Ford stuff, and let me tell you what, there's a lot of cool old cars here. I'm not really too much into like the new stuff. I mean, it's cool, it's just new. I really, really like the classic Mustangs, the classic Broncos, the classic Thunderbirds. There's so many different kinds of trucks here that I've never seen, and some really, really cool stuff. So I'll probably pick out a few choice cars today to film for you guys. Just walk around, film some stuff, talk to some people about, you know, just living the dream, owning a classic car and stuff like that. Here's the first car of the day. It's a Ford racing race car truck hauler with the actual race car on it. It's pretty cool. Phantom Racing, Boss 429. I made it here. They parked me in the Bronco section with all the other Broncos, and let me tell you what, there is a lot of Broncos here. I have never seen this many Broncos in one spot, and it's giving me a Woody. Here it is. One amongst many. Nice. So here's a 75 Bronco. It's a completely, I would say it's a one-off Bronco. You're not going to find anything like it. But the guy who built this is the third Bronco that he's built. And I mean, it's got everything that you could ever imagine. It's really cool. I would have to say, you know, it's probably one of the nicest Broncos at this show right now. But it's, I mean, it's so cool. He's got cameras all over the thing, cooler, fire extinguisher, gas cans, it's lifted. It's got all the suspension stuff. It's got an iPad in it. I mean, it's got the, whatever you call that little lifter bar over there, the jack. And I mean, wow. This is just really something that's really neat and really cool. Custom paint job. It's got the 351 motor in it that's stroked out to a 427 winch on the front. All sorts of really cool stuff. And that's what I'm really excited about this show, is to kind of see stuff like this. All these Broncos are really cool. I mean, they're fantastic. There's about 100 Broncos here. There's my little guy. And it's just so cool to be able to walk through this show and see all the modifications, like all the different cuts and lifts and bodies and tops and insides and outsides and motors. It's pretty cool, man. I'm having a great time. Give a shout out to my buddy Scotty D. I'm shooting Scotty D style videos. But Scotty shoots a lot of really cool cars and a lot of really cool videos, and I think he'd really enjoy his time here. So when he does get out to California, you know, we'll get out to this show and have a good time. Here's another really interesting Bronco. It's actually been lengthened in the front and the back. So now it's, I mean, it looks like it's about the size of a Hummer, but I mean, it's really cool. It's got a giant motor, and the guy that drives is really cool. So here we have a custom built, it's built to be a 35 Ford race car, and I mean, very cool. Look at this motor. Larry, he's the guy, the owner, and he says it gets 22 gallons to the mile still, which is pretty impressive. If you look at the inside, it's got the original style seat belts in it. It's got a pull-off steering wheel, signed by a lot of people, and it's just a beautiful car. He said if I meet up with him towards the end of May, he'd actually let me drive it, and I think I'm gonna have to take him up on that. You can't just pass up an offer to somebody that says they'll let you drive your car like this, because it's not very often someone says, hey, I'll let you jump in and take a ride. So, Scotty, eat your heart out, because this is one cool race car. So this is Larry. You want to just tell me just a little bit about the car?
It's a 35 Ford vintage style racer, and it's fast, it's fun, it's a kick drive.
Yeah.
It's crazy driving. If you have a fender car and you want to keep it, don't drive this car. It just drives you crazy driving.
That's cool. One of my favorite cars of all time is a 32 Ford, and this is so similar to the type of setup that I like on those. It's immaculate. I love it. All right, so here we have a Replica Shelby. It's built on a 65 frame. It was built in the 90s. It's got the 351. It's got the 427 valve covers, and it's just a beautiful car. It's very clean, scratch-free, dent-free, and the exhaust is one of my favorite things about the Shelby is the exhaust that comes out the side. They're just such cool cars, and they're so far ahead of their time, and you really appreciate them. And here's an original Shelby Cobra, which is almost impossible to find. And this is actually the car that I shot at Bob's Big Boys, you know, when we were hanging out with Ferris and Jimmy. So this guy gets around. He says he's got a couple of these, but this is like the most impressive one that wins the most trophies because it's all original. It's got the original motor, the original steering wheel, the original seat belts. I mean, it's just so cool. You're really fortunate to come out to a show like this and get to see these cars because they're so far and in between. You just don't see stuff like this anymore. Here's a Shelby Mustang GT500, and it's actually got 1,000 horsepower, which is pretty crazy. It's not very often you see cars with 1,000 horsepower off of the racetrack. It's got all the carbon fiber inlays. The motor's just immaculate, and man, I'll tell you what, you get to drive something like this, you'd be pretty happy. This is Kenny Bell's supercharged car. And the inside matches the outside. I mean, it's just beautiful. So, 20-inch rims on it, which I think look pretty cool. I bet this thing just sounds amazing. And this is also his car. This is his second Mustang. I mean, it's a regular GT, but it's absolutely amazing. And of course, the Roush guys are here with a couple cars that just look unbelievably awesome. Look at this thing, holy crap. Talk about unique cars.
Shelby, yeah? Shelby? Mazda Shelby, no, that's an old Shelby, no.
Yes, this
No,
is the original Mustang.
The original Mazda first cheaper. See the bird? Yeah, I know.
I bet this guy's a character.
That's a bird. 1915.
1917. That is a pretty impressive car. Very cool.
It's 15.
1915. Wow. Tell you what, Ford's 100 years old.
Almost 100.
Not quite, but man, tell you what, I've not seen anything this unique and cool in a while.
8 more months and I'm gonna have a big birthday party for it.
Good. You get it some. You better get one of those custom-made cakes.
I think it's gonna have at least one more rainstorm left in it. I'm worried about that cloud. It might disintegrate. What year was that?
This is so cool. Like the firewall is made out of wood. There's wood in the inside. It's just got. It has a lot of wood parts. It has wood rims, and it's very, very, very cool. You really have to appreciate something like this. I mean, like the guy just told me, you know, restoring a car like this is like restoring the Coliseum. It's just, you don't do it because the value isn't there. It is what it is because of what it is, and that's what makes it very, very special. Look at this license plate. Horseless carriage. That is so freaking cool. Yeah, look at this. This is one cool car. And what's really, really cool about this car is this had one owner its entire life. You know, it hasn't been resold, it hasn't been redone. The dash is all original, which is absolutely phenomenal. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a special, special car. So I found a really, really cool, it's actually a retractable Thunderbird, which apparently are very rare. It's a 1957. And the owner was telling me about it. It has 11 different switches and over 600 feet of wiring alone to open and close this top. So you push a lever one way, it opens up. You push a lever another way, the top goes up. You push a lever the other way, it goes down. And then the top goes down. And I tell you what, it's a very, very cool car. I mean, look at the inside. There's a couple modifications. He's got a radio and stuff like that, but it's all original. And I guess he has 3 of them, which is pretty impressive. Now this is something truly special. Pardon me, but do you have any Grey Poupon? That's the best prop I've ever seen placed in a car. Jesus, look at that. There's a bar back there. You make yourself a drink while somebody drives you around. Wood trunk on the back. Here's a 1932 Ford Coupe. It's a Model B. I mean, this is pretty much my... Next to my Bronco, this would be the next car that I buy if I ever get a chance. And it's absolutely phenomenal. I love 32 Fords. My friend's grandpa had a 32 Ford, and ever since I saw it, I fell in love with the car, and I've always wanted one, you know, and then we got the Bronco, and I fell in love with that because it's mine now, and it's just special to me. I grew up riding in it. We've had it for almost 20 years, which is crazy to think. Yeah, but the next, when I have the money to spend on a 32 Ford, someday I'll probably buy one when I have the space in the garage. Got a couple specialty cars over here. Whoa. It's like an armored car. Here they have a Ford GPA, which is a submersible, not submersible, but whatever you call the car that goes in the water and drives out of the water. It's an army vehicle equipped with machine gun, other machine gun, and it's just really, really cool. It's got an anchor. And it's the 50th year of the Ford Mustang this year, so of course, when you have these big anniversary years and stuff like that, a lot of people bring them out. I guess there's over 1,300 Mustangs here, which is pretty crazy. That's a lot of Mustangs. So they've got all the cars out there, and this is kind of like a fenced off area for a little bit more nice cars, a little bit more unique stuff, and they have kind of a lot of the higher end, really nice cars inside this fence. So I'll check out a couple of these and show them to you guys. These are last year's Best in Show winners. This is actually a Mercury truck from the 60s. And some of you car guys out there are gonna go, what the heck, what do you mean it's a Mercury truck? But I guess it was made in Canada, and they actually made a Mercury truck in Canada. So it's pretty much identical to a Ford, something like that, except it's a Mercury truck. It's pretty cool. Here's a really cool Mach 1 that I saw coming in earlier. Just a beautiful, beautiful Mustang.
I have to wear my hat. Oh.
The Boss 302, which is kind of an iconic Mustang, really, really cool. Pretty cool custom Mustang. It's a Boss 302X. Ford bikes.
There's no line.
2015 GT.
So if you don't want to
first pre-production Mustang
SoCal Ford, and that will up your likes like 20%.
Wow. Here's Ryan Sheckler's F-150. I was gonna say, man, this looks like a really, really cool F-150. And then, of course, it says Ryan Sheckler right there. So, yeah, of course, it's probably a really cool F-150. Here's a GT350. Just a beautiful car. That's what I'm talking about. What a beautiful ride. I bet it's fun to drive that. Oh, yeah. I have no idea what this is, but it looks pretty cool. This is a 1944 Universal Carrier. That's cool. Imagine riding around back in this thing in the day. And here's the AAA dragster. I could run faster than that car can drive. And we have an Automotive Club of Southern California old school tow truck, which is pretty cool. You know, you think cars, as long as cars have been around, tow trucks have been around, and to see an old one's pretty neat. Here's some pretty cool Mustangs. Yeah, and I know I keep saying it, but coming into the show and just seeing all these awesome cars is so exciting. You know, you don't get to see stuff like this every day. People don't bring them out and drive them every day, and there are very much one-of-a-kind, unique cars here that you guys definitely want to see. I think I'm gonna buy a Ford hat. Got my Ford hat. I wouldn't have bought a Ford hat if I didn't have a Ford Bronco, but I feel like I need to get a hat to match the Bronco. I also got this little lanyard thing, and it has a little pendant on it that I'm gonna put on my keychain, and it's a perfect size. It's not too big. It's actually pretty small, so the one thing about having a cold classic car like a Ford Bronco is, you know, you only have 2 or 3 keys, and they're old school small keys, so I like small key change, but that's a pretty good investment. There's a lot of Mustangs here. It's like Mustangs, 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 Mustangs. It could be called the world of Mustangs. All right, so everyone is, it's about 3 o'clock, and that's the time everyone kind of fires up and gets out of here, so everyone's gonna be taking off here in about 10-15 minutes, but it's been a fantastic show. I've met a lot of really awesome people here that I probably wouldn't have met if I didn't come. A lot of people are really impressed with the Bronco. Some 16-year-old girl came up to it and said, "Dad, this is the one I want." And the guy came up to me and said, "All right, how much do you want for it?" And I was just kind of flabbergasted. I was like, first off, it's not for sale, and second of all, like, you would just buy your daughter something like this because she's like, this is the one? That's crazy. So I thought that was pretty cool, but you know, I'm not selling my Bronco ever. It just means too much to me. You know, my dad gave it to me, but had a fantastic time here at the fabulous Ford Forever show, and it was really, really fun. So I'm gonna go home and see what Nikki's up to. Everybody's pulling out of the show. I actually got out of here really fast. I was kind of surprised. Everyone's revving their engine. Why not? I just got home and Nikki's like, "Oh, you're so tan," and I literally sat in the sun all day, but it was kind of funny. I was driving home and 2 kids pulled up next to me in their car. They're like, "Hey, John," and going down the freeway like 65 miles an hour, and I was kind of startled. I was like, "Ah," and they're like, "We're subscribers." So whoever you 2 kids were out there, really thanks for watching, and I really appreciate it, and Nikki really appreciates it too.
The story, yeah.
Yeah, funny, huh?
Not kids if they're driving.
Well, the one in the passenger seat was talking to me. Okay. So, yeah, it was safe. It was just really random. So, I had a really fun time hanging out at the show today. Hanging out with my buddies Dave and Jeff. Really, really cool guys. Saw some awesome Broncos, met some awesome people, and it'll be really fun to go back next year. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and favorite this video, and we'll see you next time.